everybody, it's
Snippet Saturday,
and it's Pat and Kathy, but Kathy didn't want to be in the video today. She's just going to kind of talk from behind because guess what? She's still running around with half a haircut. Or not even half a haircut.
Don't make me laugh.
It's really bad. But she's not going to go get her haircut. So anyway, we're going to talk about a couple of things today. I want to talk about, you know, when you're you add what's it called again? The tack. It's not a tack down. I'm having a little moment here today. It's Friday or Saturday, and anyway. When you're going to be doing something and you want to lay the fabric down and tack it down, the basting stitch. You want to baste that fabric down. So I'm going to show you a couple of things. I'm going to show you where it's at because a lot of people forget where the basting stitch is. And if you've ever used and added the basting stitch to on any of our baby lock machines, you'll find that sometimes it doesn't catch and you get all frustrated because it's not basting it down. I'm going to show you the trick on how to get a basting stitch that tacks down every single time after you use it. So a lot of people forget when they're adding the tack downs. I just added a small little, my name, so you know. My name, and then when you get to the embroidery section, the very last section before you start embroidering, you're going to go up here to the last, well, I'm going to embroider, then I'm going to go to the layout. It's always on the very last screen before you start to embroider. That's your tack down stitch, the little flower with the little thread coming around, and it automatically added that box around it. So now we're ready to stitch out. What you do, here's the key. First thing you're going to do is make sure that your bobbin thread is long. So you don't want to cut your bobbin thread because guess what? We're going to bring this up to the top, kind of like quilting when you're free motion quilting, and you need to bring your bobbin thread up. So you're going to leave a bit of a tail so that you can reach it. You're just not going to cut it. You just put it in the slot like that. Put your frame on. And you're going to hit embroidery, but with your Solaris, you don't have to. It goes right to start. And then you're going to stop it right there. So then what you're going to do is you're going to grab your thread that's in your needle. And like that. And you're going to hold on to it. And you are going to do, if you can get your hands down in there, hit your needle down and needle up. And that's going to pull that bottom bobbin thread up. Okay? And there is the end. You're going to grab the bobbin thread, grab your needle thread. You got to grab both of them. And you're going to hit the start button and let it go down a couple times. And then you can let it go. And then you're going to get a perfect basting stitch, just like that. And it doesn't stop. Or it doesn't.
It actually
tacks it down. How about that? So for those that don't have a baby lock, I think that's going to work with any of your machines that does a basting stitch. If you're having trouble with your machines that do the basting stitches, just make sure, pull the bobbin up, think free motion quilting, and it'll be perfect every time. Okay, Kathy, good. What's your little snippet?
Okay, so mine, you pick up those.
Oh, yeah.
Are going to be leaders and enders. So
I should be at a sewing machine.
Why do we use a leader? Because you never want to scratch up the bottom of your foot, because if that gets all etched up, then it's going to create divots and it will not keep the proper pressure when you're sewing, so your feed dog's scratching it up. Second, do you ever get your little corners stuck down in the needle plate hole? Yeah, so if you're using a leader, it's not going to do that. And then at the end...
So do you start sewing halfway through your leader like that?
I make sure the whole thing is under there.
Okay,
so the bottom of my feet is fully covered. And then for the ender, I do the same thing, because you'll find when you're sewing sometimes you want to quickly get that last piece off there, so it doesn't have a great 1/4 inch seam at the end. So if you have an ender on there, it does.
If you're sewing like you continue sewing even off, it's like serging off of your fabric.
Exactly.
Pulling it straight back.
So
okay.
And then your tip about it was
I always use my go cutter, and I cut all my scraps, my fabric scraps. When I'm done with something, I cut them into 2.5 inch squares like this. and that's why we're using these. So what I'm doing is I sew, and I'm actually making 2 quilts at once when I'm sewing. So I take my 2, I have them all at my machine, all my scraps with my white background, and I'm constantly just making the first one. I'm sewing a 2.5 inch strip, and then when I get to the end, I'm sewing a 2.5 inch squares. And then when I get a whole bunch of them done, I just press them, and that's how you make 2 quilts at once. We'll see you later.
Bye.
Have a good weekend. Thanks. Thanks for watching this video. If you want more of these videos, we have plenty more coming up. We got lots of new stuff coming. So what I want you to do to be prepared is you're going to click up here if you want to watch the next video, and you're going to click down here in the bottom if you want to watch all my favorite videos, my favorite things, if you want to get some more stuff. And then what we also want to do is subscribe so that you can get all the new stuff.
Click the bell.
Click the bell, subscribe, and thanks, and we'll see you in a bit.